There's a little known fact that might fuck with your head. Funny thing about playing guitar is that the instrument sounds an octave lower than it's written. Okay? Took me a while to figure that out. I didn't realize it until I was in my 20s and I wanted to learn how to write for big band and orchestra. And I bought a book called Sounds and Scores by Henry Mancini. It's still around. And when he gets to, he talks about the range of the trumpet. It's in B flat. It's a B flat instrument. It's written, if you want the note B flat to sound, you write a C. And it says written sounds. When I got to the guitar was an octave lower than it sounds. So that means this. Middle C on the guitar is here. Or here. Okay? But it's written, that's how it's written, but it sounds an octave lower. Okay, so when you're comping chords down here, think about where you are. An example is look at this picture. Okay? And I'm going to insert the picture here. Yeah, this isn't going to work. Okay, I'll put the picture in here. So you could see that this E string, see where it's written? It's sounding out in the bass clef. Okay? So you need to be aware of this, like when you comp, okay? You know, this has like a G7 plus 9, flat 9. So when you're, if you put it down here, if you notice, okay, when you solo down here, it's not going to have the same bite as up here. It has to be above the third for it to have the sounds, okay? So be careful when you comp. That's why sometimes 3-note chords are better. Just play part of the chord. Okay, that's a 2-5-1. Got a flat 9 here, okay? So maybe we can argue about that for 15 or 20 seconds, 15 or 20 comments. I'm so glad that guy, he finally got it. The best answer was the 5 fingers were placeholders where all the consonant notes would sound. Okay, I lost my pick. I may have smoked it. So that's why it's really important to learn how to fucking read, because it's not that hard. Don't tell me about Wes Montgomery and all that, you know. You know something? Maybe if Wes learned how to read, he wouldn't have had to have 3 day jobs, and maybe he'd still be alive. It just wasn't a thing in those times. Okay? Not in today's world. That's for sure. So, outside notes. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to take this string ring. Okay? An outside note. It's the flat, like, let's say the chord is C7. Or it could be C major. Let's keep it simple. E flat is not in the key of C, it's one of the black keys. It's the blues note. Another one is the B flat. Or this way, look. Typical blues lick. There's that note. Outside note. Now, this is from this string ring. So the outside notes, if they're not under your finger, like this F sharp is, they're that way. Just produces easier fingering. I suppose you can go. You gotta skip a string, see? Doesn't have the same effect. Okay? There's no such thing as no fucking blues scale. Blow me with that shit. Blues scale. Some academician came up with that crap. Go tell B.B. King to play a blues scale. It's a shame he just recently passed away. So that's true with all the outside notes. If I'm in the key of C, look. Chords G7, flat 9 plus 9. There's the C chord. D minor, flat 9, plus 9, flat 9. There's the blues note, C. So how do you learn that? Trial and error. It's called practice. Remember, be careful where you comp. You're down in the mud area, you know. You don't put these altered notes down. It sounds like fucking moving mud. Now, fortunately for a guitar player, the bass player, upright or Fender bass, that also sounds an octave lower than written. Okay? So if you're reading in the bass clef, that would require a lot of ledger lines below the staff, which are very, very difficult to read. Okay, so I hope that clears that up. There's a donation button in the description. See you soon. Let's argue.